Hi, I'm Prue Lumley and I'm a partner specialising in property retail work.
Hello, I'm Matthew Lewis, an employment partner and head of our retail team.
Hi, I'm Robert Wegenek. I'm a partner in IP technology specialising in media and brands. The first time that I had to advise on legal implications relating to the use of drones was about 3 years ago. We were advising advertising agencies who were intending to use drones for filming. And around the same time, we had a couple of instructions for retailers, and we had to advise them on the legal implications of using drones for demonstration purposes in store. Since then, it's got rather quiet, and part of the reason that commercial drone operations in the UK have been restricted is that there is a legal requirement for pilots to maintain a direct visual line of sight when operating a drone. That, I anticipate, is going to be changing in the coming years. The first air passenger taxi service in the world is scheduled to take place in Melbourne in 2021, and so things are going to change fairly rapidly. In fact, the law in this country is going to be changing this November. Operators of drones are going to be required to register them, and pilots of drones are going to be required to undergo training. We've been working with clients in terms of helping them to determine and establish what their strategies are going to be going forwards in relation to drones. And we've also been speaking with our real estate and employment teams about what that might have implications for as regards their client base. Prue.
Thanks, Robert. At first glance, you might not think drones are wholly relevant to the property side of retail, but think again. As a retailer, you might want the ability to deliver and receive goods from your store using drones. Not for large quantities of stock, but for smaller items, and for servicing the ever-increasing click and collect requirements, this may be very relevant. If you're a retailer and you think this technology could be useful, then it's a question of looking at what space is included in the demise. If you're taking a lease of a whole store, either on a retail park or on the high street, you need to make sure the lease includes the airspace above the shop or unit, thus allowing drones to take off and land. Also, you might want to review the user clause to make sure you have permission to use drones for delivering and receiving goods from your store. For retailers taking a lease of part, whether it's a ground floor shop in a building or part of a shopping centre, then you need to have a conversation with the landlord at the heads of terms stage to see whether you can acquire rights to use the outdoor space or roof space, together with necessary rights of access to that area. Also, for retailers who have plenty of suitable space for drone traffic, you should look at how to capitalise on this, not only for your own business, but also consider licensing the space to others for a fee. Obvious examples would include supermarkets or stores situated on out-of-town retail sites. Matthew.
Retailers and logistic companies who are planning on operating drones will need to consider the employment law implications. Regarding legalities, the law distinguishes between the drone operator and its pilot, the operator being responsible for the drone versus the pilot who actually operates the flight controls. As Robert mentioned, from 30th of November this year, commercial drone pilots will require to pass an operating competency test online, set by the Civil Aviation Authority. As the employer or potential retailer, being the drone operator, you have a responsibility to ensure you don't negligently cause the drone to endanger any personal property. So you must ensure the drone pilot is complying with their legal obligations. Also, as the Civil Aviation Act states, that the drone operator is liable for any loss or injury caused by a drone accident, you must, as the employer, put in place a drones operation policy, which sets out how you expect drones to be flown and operated, and carry out any training with your drone pilots to ensure they meet all necessary operating standards. Finally, the General Data Protection Regulations, or GDPR as we all know them, mean that drone operators must comply with protecting all data that's collected. Drones inherently store names, addresses, and telephone numbers to make deliveries, and there's a real risk drone operators could fall foul of the GDPR if they fail their responsibility to manage the data within their commercial operations. I'll stop droning on for now. I hope you found this oversight interesting and useful.